Welcome back to Breakfast Central. With daily discussions focused on leadership mistrust and youth frustration taking center stage within Nigeria's landscape, today we'll be looking at an issue that touches national nerve, youth governance, and the value crisis.
We shall be unpacking the erosion of moral values in public life, the role of young Nigerians in shaping the future, and whether this generation can help steer Nigeria back to a place of integrity and purpose. Joining us for this discussion this morning is author and public speaker Chris Omojiade. A warm welcome to you, Chris. Thanks for joining us
for having me.
Breakfast Central.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for being here.
Now, let's start with this. And if you look at the trajectory of Nigeria and you do throwbacks, you remember seeing the then Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa in the United States, how he was welcomed, how my dad used to tell me that in University of Lagos, they used to serve them meals with chicken, and then you buy a newspaper. If the vendor is not there, you leave the money, and the vendor will come back and admit its money there. So where did we begin to lose our core values? What role has governance played in this? Is it a government problem or is it families? How did this happen? How did you get to where we are today?
Well, thank you so much. I think it's a confluence of both. It's a failure of both governance and it's a failure of people. And why did I say that? It's so amazing that you started off the conversation about history. Any nation or society that doesn't place premium on where they're coming from, we never get a sense of direction on where they're going. It's a no-brainer. We've gotten ourselves in a space where I know when I go on social media, maybe there's a passing of a particular individual or there's a throwback. The comment section tells you everything about our nation and where we're heading on.
Absolutely.
The comment section tells you everything. People have no idea about their identity. They have no idea about where they're coming from. They have no idea about the sacrifices that have been placed. They have no idea of the blood that's been shed. They have zero idea. You just gave the exact example of Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa arriving at the Oval Office and having all the carpet rolled out, speaking impeccable English. And you would have comments like, who is this person? That tells you everything. So if we as a nation do not first revisit the past, and look for answers, there's no way the future is going to offer us anything. And our school curriculum has not helped us. Every single time I go through our education, it's comatose. It's for the dinosaur age. It's Jurassic Park. It's not forward moving and it's not stimulating conversations. So it's the reason why we are where we are. I wouldn't step on some other toes, but I will shortly.
Okay, so I mean, you've talked about us going back in time, which is a very important thing. You can't go forward if you don't look back at where you're coming from. There's a role that the society has had to play, but the society consists of families.
Yes.
So how has family played into this conversation, this broader conversation of the decay, the moral decline that we're seeing, and the value erosion system?
Like I said earlier on and all, it's the government has its failings, the family. His dad told him, by the way, the University of Lagos is still the best university in the country. Just that I put it out there. So
we'll argue about that.
I just put it out there. It's Unilag and everybody else. So he said it, that his dad mentioned and sold his stories, telling about the way it used to be. And unfortunately, where are those tales and where are those stories? You don't find them. See, let me tell you this. If you go through history and you want to look at great nations and you want to look at great empires that survived, everybody has their, the peak. But you find out that beyond external invasions that took down great nations, what really, really killed most nations was an erosion of internal values. I can tell you for free. That's why when we look at our nations that are at the apex today, that seem to be on the dwindle, if you really, really want to track it back, you'll find out that at the very foundation of it is an erosion of values. Once values go out of the window, it's just a matter of time. It's like cancer. The decay starts from, you don't need any external.
And it affects every facet of society.
Every single part of it.
Religion,
every single part of it.
Private sector, everything.
So how can leaders start to transform and change things around, turn things around? We've seen the politicians whom many have said they do not have good leadership. Therefore, it doesn't trickle down to both the people that work with them, to every society. So at what point can Nigerians start to say we must hold the leaders first accountable for not showing good leadership?
Well, we've been saying this and we'll continue to say it and we'll keep on saying it. We have to hold them responsible because clearly one of the cardinal principles that govern leadership is the fact that you must learn to lead yourself first. People definitely look up to these individuals who clearly do not live up to what they should be doing. So for instance, now I'm at the traffic light junction waiting for the light to turn green. And a gentleman in an Hilux vehicle believes that wherever he's going to is more important than everybody else on the road and decides to go past it. What he has done inadvertently is sent a signal to everybody else that it can be done. So before most times we go on to blame commercial drivers for, I always say that they're looking up to a lot of these individuals who they see racing go back and forth. So they think to themselves, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And it trickles off the way. When you see people, for instance, I like what Lagos State government is doing concerning waste management and all. We do agree that Lagos is a small landmass for a huge growing population. But it beats my imagination how you get out of your house in the morning, tie refuse, go up and drop it on the street. Or you're trying to cross the street and right there in front of you is a bridge. It's a pedestrian bridge. You see, all these things, when growing up, if I had to walk through two adults and not say good morning, I'll get a knock. I will get a knock. But unfortunately, before I got on the show watching from the room, I saw you guys discussing about the university, the OAU University. I giggled because I saw that yesterday and I have my own views. We also agreed that whatever we try to do shouldn't be on the extreme. But I think we need to instill some values. Values in the way we speak, values in the way we even dress. A lot of all these things. Why do you think, for instance, Olive, why some nations do not hide their disdain for social media to an extent? It's not, apart from national security issues that they may, excuse me, want to put at the forefront, the honest truth is that they understand the inevitable, and when you allow a culture where everybody, Dick, Tom, Harry, says what they feel without some form of,
there's a Great Wall of China, for example, for blocking all this social media sites and perverse things that might corrupt their people for a reason.
Yes, we're Africans. And let's never forget that. We're Africans. I'm proud African, proud Nigerian. I mean, a few days ago, there was a story online about a lady who made a trip to one of the Asian countries and ended up having issues. And I mean, it was disheartening. But the honest truth is, I ask myself every single time this happens, where are the other African countries when all of this happens? Why is it always we Nigerians that are put as a scapegoat for a lot of this? The way you project yourself is the way you accept it. And that is the honest truth. The way you project yourself is the way. If I came in here dressed shabbily, and you probably may have to have called your editor at the back end to say, maybe we should continue with the news.
Are you saying this in respect to the general sense of us as a nation and how we're being perceived publicly? Or are you saying this in response to the lady in particular who was...
No, I'm talking about us in general. Okay. Us in general, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Every single time a certain nation puts out information about their immigration policies or their law enforcement picking up fraudsters, it's like a thing of joy. I still saw it yesterday, but we've caught a Nigerian national. It's like pride for them.
Okay, so now let's get into the political space for a bit. We're starting to see lots of clamoring for younger people being involved in the political space, because the truth is you can't effect change being on the outside. You have to be a part of the system. But the concern that we often hear, being shared, or the sentiment is that as a young person with genuine intentions, you go in there and you're influenced and you all of a sudden feel like you're this lone person that is fighting a war amongst these people. So we hear people who went into politics with good intentions, and after a while, it's a thing of, if you can't beat them, you join them. Where do we start with the radicalization that needs to happen if we're going to ensure that we entrench strong value system in Nigeria's political space?
I think it first starts with the why of leadership. What's the reason, or what drives your leadership ethos? What's making you take that bold step to be able to say, I want to leave everything aside and give my best, give my all to society or to community? It starts with that why. When that why is shaky, it doesn't matter where you are. I'll give an example. Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew. I mean, at the very time when that revolution started, and I call it revolution, you find out that it was a long cut. But he understood that it was just only a matter of time before that bug was going to bite a lot more young people. This is where we talk about the feelings. The churches are failed. I mean, I'm a Christian, I'm a minister.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. There are so many institutions that have failed as regards being able to galvanize the youth. I'm talking about, so for instance, I have friends in politics at the moment. I have a friend who won the elections, local government elections in Lagos, and I sent a message, and now you're representing us. Now it's us. It's no longer going to be pointing fingers or no. It's an opportunity to show that I can get it done and I would not be influenced by systems, structures, or people. So I think to a large extent that even institutions, if we do not end up stimulating conversations, ending up allowing people to rise up and understanding that I need to do more, I need to give my quota. We're never going to move as a nation. In my little community where I live in, I happen to chair the community of about 300 homes. And when I took that slot, I was probably in my 30s. I'm not saying I'm the best that has come out of it, but there was a determination, especially with the people I put together as a team, saying, you know what, now these old guys are going to look at us and say, now you have the chance now. What are we going to do? Are we going to make a difference or make a mess? The church is always ours.
Now let's talk about practical steps we can take to instill integrity and a rebirth of our value systems. Because growing up, we didn't have Yahoo boys in our lexicon. We didn't have hook up. You read the newspapers every other day. There's a boy that killed his girlfriend that ran away. His name is even Killer Boy. You know, things that somebody orders an iPhone, kills the delivery person, buries the body in a septic tank. You know, there's no fear of consequences. It was said that it takes a community to raise a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, okay, if the community fails, we have religious institutions as backup. And I think in Africa, per capita, we have the highest numbers of religious institutions per capita, per square kilometer on the African continent. And it doesn't seem to reflect. The major religions of the world condemn killing, stealing. So if our leaders have failed at that and the law enforcement part has failed, why are we as a people, community, failed in, you know, instilling discipline? People do things with no fear and consequences. What's really going on? And is there hope?
Yeah,
how can we change this?
So you nailed it right at the very end of it. So I have two amazing young kids. I know they probably may be watching or not, depending on what mommy feels like. So
hi, daddy's kids.
yeah. So one of the things, Chris and Ethan, one of the things about both of them is their mom takes them on what she calls the consequence drive. That's what my wife calls it. Meaning that every time my son does something, she makes him understand there's a consequence to your action.
Yeah.
And that's at the home front, the home unit. As a nation, we have zero consequences. And what is that? It's a ticking time bomb. When I know that regardless of what I do, I'm going to get away with it. What you've done is that you're creating a cesspool. That's the best way to describe it.
Culture of impunity.
A culture of impunity that sooner or later we're going to blow up in everybody's face. So it is scary, but one of the ways is for us to be able to, like you said, track back when it comes to consequences. The second one that I think you mentioned is that even as young, I mean, we have a youthful population. And when you have a youthful population, guess where in the last decade, 20 years, inspiration comes from the media. I love wealth. I love the good life. You all look amazing. I love the fact that I can take my kids somewhere good. I love the fact that I can pay for good school fees. But guess what? We are beginning to literally be at the brinks where we are celebrating literally everything and anything else. And any nation that does that, it becomes a scary proposition. Wealth is being pushed in people's faces in ways and manner that, I mean, I know growing up, we had parties, we had a lot of that. I mean, I have nothing wrong with people having to do things the way if you work out for your money. What I mean is that the media itself, we need to be careful of the stories that we craft. Because guess what? Leadership has failed. Sometimes some people will say the church system have failed. Guess where the young people are going to get the inspiration from? From the media. So when they see...
We also need to be careful about the people we make famous.
Exactly.
So I don't know how we can navigate this because the world is a global village. And right now, as you can see on social media, different apps can make celebrities overnight.
Yeah.
They make celebrities over the slightest things.
Yeah.
People become famous for sometimes things that you wouldn't applaud, right? They become famous, and
It almost seems the more stupid things you do,
You do
the
the
more
more
famous.
famous.
But it's not peculiar to only us as a nation.
exactly what I'm saying. So
It's not peculiar. It's not peculiar to this society.
So, which goes back to what I was trying to mention, that it's a global village.
Yeah, it
On
is.
social media, we can connect with America, we can connect with the United Kingdom, different continents, and these are things that happen in other countries as well. So how do we as a nation then ensure that we're protecting our children in a world that is a global village?
There is a
fast-paced digital society.
national orientation agency that needs to wake up and understand its fundamental role as set up by the Constitution. There has to be a constant orientation. I'll give you an example. Do you think by any chance that the White House and the Oval Office and the Office of the United States of America is one of the most glamorous? I can tell you that it is one of the most organized media crafted stories that is dished out to the world. I mean, Okogan died yesterday. We're all mourning. Do you understand how much even the U.S. government over the last couple of years, decades, pumps money into the media to ensure that a narrative is created in such a way that their leadership position remains where it is? What am I saying in essence? We leave too much to chance. We live too much, and when you have weak systems, weak structures, for instance, talk about movies that come out. You spoke about the rituals, a lot of this. For the longest time, we all laughed about these things.
But they have consequences.
They have consequences. They have their consequences. Every time I put on the news and you see, oh, somebody found out that if I kill this person, I can make money and all, and there's no repercussion to, you just mentioned somebody kills somebody, travels around the world, the police said they've caught them, police. It's only just going to breed more and more of it. And if you look at it, it all still boils down. They all just want to end up in the media. They all want to end up celebrated. Nobody asks where the money comes from. Like you said, in the US, UK, you can become a celebrity overnight. Oh, yes, you can. But I can guarantee that the minute you become a celebrity, it's also the end of when it ends, you know. The day it starts ending. Because why? It's
The
built.
tax authorities.
Everybody starts
Everything.
putting their attention on you.
Yeah.
I saw a video once, a lady, I mean, even though could have been racially inspired, going to press the doorbell of somebody and says, what are you doing having a Rolls Royce parked in front of? And he says, oh, I work hard for my money. No, I want to know, what do you do? It sounds funny. When I was young, if I go to school and I bring something home that I didn't take to school, I would explain.
You'll explain.
I would explain.
Even as little as a pencil
I would
or
explain.
a pen, you would explain.
Even party packs.
I would
But
explain.
let's be fair on the parents. It's parenting harder now. You have distractions, and you also. I mean, back then, your mom could afford to stay at home. The big dad could, take care of everyone. He will work. You take care of the home front. By 4 p.m., when those color bars come and NTA starts,
I'll show you the page.
everybody is at home. Daddy had one business, one job. Mommy had one job. Now, parents are hustling. The economy is not, everybody's working. So we leave parenting to nannies and the streets.
I agree.
So, how do you survive? How do you do a good job in this fast-paced, digital, tough economy?
Permit me to slide into the deck of cards, my religious and ministerial leaning, which clearly I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, and it tells you that the way you bring up a child, I believe so much in that to a large extent. So those seeds are instilled even from very early ages, no matter how much it is. For instance, I say kudos to a lot of you amazing women, because at night I'm knocked out. My wife would still go to the kids' room at night. What did you learn? What is this? What happened there? There was an incident a couple of months ago. I mean, my kids attend a very good school where, unfortunately, I guess the ball was dropped, where my son gave an example of a comprehension passage that did not sit well with my wife. And my wife triggered it, and all because she had those night conversations with my son. Otherwise, my son would have found out that it's okay for Kevin to wake up and be Anne the next day.
Wow. Wow, it really is. It's a tough call being a parent in 2025.
Oh, yes, it is.
It will take a lot of intentionality. I'm hoping I miss the days when we had communities. Back in the day, they would say it takes a village to raise a child. Right now, everybody's just doing their thing solo. I would hope that in the near future, we can have more communities and systems that would help each other. At least I need to know that if I'm going somewhere and for some reason I can't pay attention to my child at that moment, I can drop my child in Benga's house, knowing that Benga and his wife will do a great job of looking after my child. We need to go back to that period where we had communities in raising children. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
this
you for
morning,
having
Chris.
me.
It's been a very interesting conversation. I hope that challenges you, our viewer, to think about the ways in which you can, in little ways, maybe that's a last way to end it. Like, let's give a call to action. A call to action.
And also the phrase education is a scam.
Oh, can I just jump on that?
Okay, please
Yes.
jump on that.
There's a certain entrepreneur who's coming out with a book very shortly, and when I saw the comments there, that broke my heart. I mean, I'm an author of 14 books, and I understand how powerful books are. And somebody says to me, what's this man going to teach me? See, the first thing we need to do, allow our little ones also go back the reading culture, being able to read about their heritage, being able to read about their nations. It has a way of stimulating and expanding the bandwidth of your mind. Also, call to action. Parents, it's crazy out there. We all know the kind of country we live in, but we can do more. I have parents that live in my community next to me, and we've all come together to be able to try and raise our own kids. I think we can all try and replicate that.
Thank you very much, Chris Omojiade.
Thank you,
Again,
Chris.
we hope that this serves as a call to action that encourages us on the need to reevaluate the choices, the decisions, and the steps we're taking to ensuring that we create a value balance in our society.